divine frequency of 777 Hz. Manifest miraculous healing, abundance, and positive energy for women. In the quaint village of Beckingham, whispers of divine wonders often turned voices to trembling prayer. Sarah, a devoted mother of 3, had become an emblem of faith, championing the sanctity of family and the healing power of the spirit. Yet, as illness crept into her home, a tempest brewed within and outside the walls of St. Michael's Church. With her husband battling a relentless affliction and her youngest child suffering from unnerving fevers that struck like clockwork, the stark silence of despair clung to her heart. Every flickering candle at evening's prayer became a portal of hope, casting soft luminescence over prayers spoken with trembling lips. One peaceful night, in the stillness of the church, Sarah knelt beneath the statue of St. Jude, the patron of desperate cases. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered fervent pleas, clinging to the fabric of her faith. Suddenly, an overwhelming presence enveloped her as she closed her eyes. A celestial frequency vibrated in her soul, a melody of light washing over her senses. The number 777 echoed clearer than thunder in her spirit, a divine promise emanating from the heavens, creating ripples of healing and profound transformation. Yet the village wasn't entirely engulfed in belief. Skepticism drifted like fog, murmurs questioning the power of prayer, and doubts that shadowed Sarah's whispers grew louder each day. What could a number do? They asked, eyes rolling in disbelief. But the crescendo of turmoil struck sharp when Emily, Sarah's eldest, received a devastating diagnosis. A clap of thunder in an already stormy sky, it sent shockwaves throughout the community. Those who rallied around Sarah now stood divided, some firm in their belief of the divine frequency, others firmly planted in the realm of doubt. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Desperation fueled Sarah's resolve, igniting a fire within her she never knew existed. With trembling hands, she sent invitations, calling each villager to gather in St. Michael's to join her in prayer, imploring the healing frequency of 777 Hz. Words spread like wildfire, lighting hope in some hearts while provoking scorn in others. On the sacred night of the gathering, the church stood aglow, its old stones vibrating with a sense of expectancy. Faces filled the pews, eyes shimmering with a cocktail of anxiety and anticipation. As she took center stage, the silence wrapped around her like a cloak. She lifted her voice, calling on the frequency, begging to touch the very fabric of the divine. Lord, let healing rain down like dew upon us. In that climactic moment, a profound stillness descended, merging collective breaths into one sacred sigh. The atmosphere thickened with electric energy. Sarah's heart raced as she pushed forward, pouring her spirit into each plea. And then, as if summoned by the divine symphony she envisioned, the impossible began to unfold. With gasps of awe, witnesses watched Emily's strength return. Life flickered around her fragile form. Just as the healing appeared tangible, an ominous question tinged the air. What if this is just the beginning, and the frequency brings more than healing? What else lies hidden in such divine resonance? The villagers stood at the edge of faith's precipice, their hearts pounding, as the divine mystery unfolded, leaving them yearning for answers and further miracles beyond their understanding. As the hushed reverence filled the church, those present began to share cautious whispers. Emily, still fragile but undeniably altered, gazed at Sarah, her mother's face a tapestry of hope and worry. The flickering candlelight danced in her eyes, mirroring the tempest of emotions swirling within her. Did her mother hold a key to something greater, something that could shake the very foundations of their beliefs? The villagers, poised on a knife's edge between doubt and belief, exchanged lingering glances. Old Mrs. Whitaker, a longtime skeptic, wrestled with a thought that dug deeper than the surface of her faith. With each day spent in prayer, had she unwittingly surrendered pieces of her doubt? Now, as she witnessed Emily's awakening, a flicker of light pierced her shadowy skepticism. Was there something real here? Something their hearts yearned for yet feared to acknowledge? Sarah's voice rose above whispers as she beckoned them closer. We are gathered here not just for healing, but to welcome the abundance and positive energy that the frequency brings. She paused, allowing her words to seep into the hearts and minds of each soul present. Listen. Listen with your spirit. This is a moment that can transform not just bodies, but spirits. This gathering is a testament to the power within faith. Outside, the world continued on, oblivious to the sacred energy contained within the church walls. The moon beamed down like a watchful eye, illuminating the moment with an ethereal glow. Inside, every heartbeat in unison, capturing the essence of hope flowing through the air, like a river finding its way home. Moments stretched, ethereal yet heavy, humming with unspoken promises. The collective longing was palpable, a desire for truth mingling with wonder. Faces turned towards the altar, eyes reflecting a spectrum of faith as they felt the electric resonance surrounding them. The energy within the church began to crackle, vibrating with anticipation, as if heaven and earth stood poised to meet. Suddenly, Sarah felt led to speak again. What we seek cannot be measured by our limitations. The divine frequency of 777 Hz is a channel to a higher purpose. It unlocks healing, yes, but it also connects us to the blessings of abundance waiting to be claimed. Her voice surged with conviction, compelling the congregation to lean in, to believe that the extraordinary might become their reality. Just then, as the air thickened, a hushed silence fell over the group. A soft, harmonious tone began to fill the space. It was faint at first, the very sound of the frequency themselves, an otherworldly hum that resonated in their hearts, stirring depths they thought long settled. Sarah closed her eyes, her heart entwined with this divine sound. It sang promises of healing, of transformation, and of divine love. Mixed emotions flooded the room: joy, disbelief, and yearning. What was happening? Were they indeed feeling the divine frequency? Or was it simply their imaginations fueled by desperate hope? A young man, David, stood in the back, grappling with his skepticism. He whispered softly, "What if this is real? What if we're on the brink of something miraculous?" His eyes darted around the room, searching for reassurance from others. Sarah opened her eyes, sensing the shift. "Stay with me, friends. Faith is forged in the fire of uncertainty. Let us move together as one, into the light of whatever this may bring. This is just the beginning." As each villager took a step closer, a miraculous glow began to envelop the altar. Hearts raced, breaths caught in throats, and collective prayers took flight. With the divine frequency vibrating around them, they stood on the cusp of revelation, the promise of the unknown stretching before them like unturned pages bathed in heavenly light. What marvels were waiting just beyond their grasp? What truth was hidden within that sacred resonance? The night thickened with divine mystery, holding them in suspense, inviting them to lean deeper into faith's uncharted waters. The soft, harmonious tones swelled around them, soaring through the air like a gentle breeze, whispering secrets of the divine. Emily felt its caress, a warmth spreading within her chest, soothing her fragile spirit. Could this sound really be a beacon of hope and healing? Questions swirled, threads of doubt intermingling with threads of burgeoning faith. David stood captivated, grappling with the moment. As the mysterious glow enveloped the altar, his heart began to pound with renewed expectation. "What if something profound is happening right now?" he murmured, half to himself, half to the universe. Hope flickered within him like the dancing flames of the candles, daring him to believe. Sarah, sensing the shift in energy, raised her arms towards the glow, her spirit fully engaged with the heavenly presence. "Can you feel it? The frequency is alive. It pulses with the belief we've nurtured, sparking transformation within us all." She could see the unease melting from the faces around her, replaced by an eager anticipation. This very moment was becoming sacred. Old Mrs. Whitaker, feeling her heart thumping with unspent energy, found herself recalling her years of wrestling with faith. "I have doubted," she spoke, her voice trembling slightly. "But what if God is responding today? reaching into our lives in ways beyond our imagining. As her voice rang clear, a collective recognition unfurled among the villagers. They began to echo Mrs. Whitaker's thoughts in whispers, a rising tide of faith. Each whisper felt like a prayer, floating on waves of hope, rising together to the heavens. The glow from the altar intensified, sending ripples of light across the congregation, almost as if the divine frequency itself was manifesting within the room. It penetrated their hearts and minds. Overcome with emotion, tears flowed freely down Emily's cheeks as an unexpected sense of belonging enveloped her. She had stories of isolation and pain, but in this moment, she felt embraced, both by the people around her and a force far greater. "Breathe it in!" Sarah exclaimed, her own spirit intertwined with theirs. "Let it become part of you. This is the purification we've longed for, the abundance, healing, connection. It is here, friends." David, propelled by the gathering's fervor, closed his eyes and breathed in deep. He felt the positive energy swirling, igniting flickering embers of faith that lay dormant. "Lord, if this is your will, show me. Let me feel your power." The harmonious tone grew clearer, vibrating in the very marrow of their beings. It echoed not only in the physical realm, but within their souls. As the music lifted, so did their spirits. Whether they were filled with belief or still navigating uncertainty, a shared commonality began to bridge their differences. They were seekers, together in this sacred space. Suddenly, a crackle of energy burst forth from the altar, causing shivers to run down spines. A pillar of light shot upwards, reaching toward the church's ancient ceiling. Gasps filled the air, a mixture of awe and fear expressing their collective realization. God was manifesting among them. It was a moment to press into faith, to challenge their limitations, and to step into the unknown. What would this divine invitation reveal? What blessings awaited those who would dare to embrace the mystery at their door? As hearts opened wider and spirits soared higher, they knew this was merely the beginning. What awaited them was yet unspoken, shrouded in heavenly mystery. Would they find the courage to receive the abundant blessings promised to them? In the grips of this profound awakening, a question lingered in the air. How far would their faith lead them into the depths of the miracles that awaited? As the pillar of light surged upwards, the atmosphere around them transformed. It shimmered like liquid gold, dancing along the edges of their vision, a visual symphony of divine energy. The congregation held its breath, suspended in a moment where time seemed to stand still. The air crackled with an expectation so palpable that it felt like they could reach out and touch the divine. Emily's heart raced, each beat resonating with the vibrant pulse of the glow. She found herself feeling a blend of fear and exhilaration, both emotions intertwined, producing a unique intensity. What if this is it? She thought. What if this is where change begins? The pulsating light cast shadows that leaped and twirled on the walls, creating a beautiful tapestry that reflected their collective hope. David glanced around at the villagers, marveling at the transformation that was unfolding. Where there once were doubts and insecurities, now shone faces aglow with trust and anticipation. "We're not alone in this," he whispered, almost reverently, realizing that they were all standing on the cusp of something monumental. Sarah, with her arms still raised, began to speak again, her voice steady and strong. "This light beckons us. It is more than a calling, it's an invitation to surrender our fears and receive the love that flows unrestricted from above." She felt her spirit soaring, pulling a few hesitant souls up with her. The words seemed to hang in the air, resonating with those willing to listen. Old Mrs. Whitaker turned her gaze upward, as if trying to catch sight of God's hand reaching out. "I can't believe it, yet I do believe," she murmured. A profound warmth flooded her heart, washing away the years of doubt. She clenched her fists, an uncontainable joy bubbling as she felt time slip away, leaving only the present moment, vibrant and alive. Suddenly the harmonious tone shifted, rising to a crescendo that wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. Each note felt like a cosmic alignment, whispering directly to their spirits. Emily raised her hands, letting the energy envelop her like a blanket, as tears of joy cascaded down her cheeks. "Thank you, God," she exclaimed, the words bursting forth unbidden. Her vulnerability connected deeply with others, igniting a chain reaction of affirmations and praise. Around the room, murmurs grew louder, harmonizing in an impromptu chorus of blessings. Hands reached out to one another, uniting a community that had often felt fragmented. The underlying power of love and faith surged among them, filling empty spaces that had long yearned for connection. As visions danced behind closed eyelids, some saw images of their past, times of hurt, sorrow, and loneliness. But as they breathed in the sanctified air, each past wound was met with divine healing. It was their testimonies of struggle that would become stories of triumph. Hope spun like a whirlwind through the assembly, drawing people closer to their dreams. Yet amidst the elation, a question began to form, pulsating just as powerful as the divine glow surrounding them. Will we trust enough to step forward, to delve deeper into this connection, surrendering to whatever awaits? With uncertainty mingling with anticipation, they realized what they would discover next may unveil treasures they hadn't even dared to ask for. As this thought settled, the light flickered, teasing the boundaries of what lay ahead, a divine assurance that the adventure was only just beginning. What awaited beyond their collective faith? A deepening of their bond? A revelation of purpose? The awaiting answers were not far, shrouded in the mystery of their shared journey. The atmosphere continued to flicker with energy, reverberating through the hearts of the villagers. They stood transfixed, basking in this radiant warmth that welcomed all doubts to fade away. It was an invitation, a divine calling echoing in the very pit of their souls. With a sweeping motion, Sarah stepped back from the center, her face illuminated with expectation. "Let's not only witness this," she urged, her voice unwavering as it carried through the crowd. "Let us participate. Let each voice resonate with the light. Sing your truths, pray your dreams, raise your spirits high." As if compelled, the assembly began to rise in song, a melody emerging like a river overflowing its banks. Each note was filled with life. It wound through the congregation, blending hopes and fears into a beautiful tapestry of faith. Each person sang not just with their mouths but with their hearts, creating harmonies that soared to meet the light above. Emily found her voice rising along with the others, her worries melting away like ice beneath a sun. "We are here, God," she sang, her spirit intertwining with the symphony of prayers that emanated from those around her. "We are open. We are ready." To their astonishment, the light began to pulse in synchrony with their song. It enveloped them entirely, wrapping around the gathering like a warm embrace, igniting an ecstasy that thrummed through their limbs. An inexplicable connection formed. They weren't just individuals. They were a living testament to faith, woven together in a sacred embrace. From the back of the room, David noticed an elderly man, Mr. Reynolds, who had quietly wrestled with his health and doubts for years. Now, a light shimmered in his weary eyes, a flicker of hope. As he began to sway gently, lost in the music, others instinctively drew near, creating a circle of support around him. Let this be a moment, Emily thought. A moment for all of us. It filled her heart with fervor to witness Mr. Reynolds finding solace. Anyone could see it. How the glow enveloped him, transforming his frail body into a vessel of hope. As the melody echoed and swelled, a hush fell suddenly, like the moment before a storm. The light erupted in radiant brilliance, casting shimmering beams into the air. Gasps followed, mouths agape, eyes shining. "I can feel the healing!" someone shouted. "Yes!" echoed another voice. Anticipation buzzed in the air, tangible and electric. Someone stepped forward, grasping their hands together in prayer. "Let's claim this light together." Stronger than any fear, the yearning for wholeness drew them tightly into a circle. Heartbeats aligned, a beat of shared resolve, a cry for miracles, of hope that bound them right in that moment. Each one reached deep within themselves, bringing forth their hidden talents, dreams, ideas, visions that had once seemed lost even to themselves. The luminous light shimmered, and whispers of manifestations hung in the air, teasing them with promises yet to unfold. Would loved ones be healed? Would aching spirits find peace? Could this lead to more than they had ever imagined? As anticipation grew thicker, Each person felt a tingling in their fingertips, a pull toward the light. What if we dared to believe? What if we took it beyond this space? Emily thought. Her heart beat louder, nearly drowning out her thoughts as a question floated to consciousness. Would they find the courage to paint their futures with the same brush of faith? What awaited them beyond this moment of revelation? The light flickered again, revealing yet another layer of divine mystery, holding treasures just out of sight. What path would they choose? And what waves of change would surge forth from their decision? As the light pulsed and breathed with the rhythm of their shared song, a sense of unity filled the space, wrapping around each heart like an invisible thread. Emily could feel it, a warm embrace that pulsed with the promise of miracles. She caught David's eyes, filled with hope, and they nodded at one another, silently understanding that this was a moment larger than themselves. The air crackled with expectancy, and slowly the melody began to shift, becoming more profound, as if the very universe had joined in their singing. Outside, the world remained still, as if holding its breath in reverence. "Let's remember the dreams we've held tight," Sarah called out, her voice cutting through the stilled air with a passionate urgency. "What have we buried in the depths of our hearts? Let it rise." David took a deep breath. "Be bold, friends," he shouted, and as if fueled by his words, the gathering erupted again into song. This time voices rose higher, becoming an anthem of declaration that reached for the heavens. Tears streamed down several faces, not of sorrow, but of release, as if years of struggle were being washed away by the purity of the moment. In the center, Mr. Reynolds stood, transformed. The frail hands that once trembled now lifted toward the brilliance above. "I feel renewed," he exclaimed, his voice breaking through the harmony, clear and strong. Everyone paused, feeling the weight of his declaration. It was a ripple of inspiration, moving through them, reminding them of their shared purpose, of their potential to break free from what bound them. Around them, the light took on new shades, swirling colors that danced and twinkled like the stars. Each villager felt an urge to let go of fear, to proclaim their own truths. Emily stepped forward. "Lord, let us be vessels of your goodness. We surrender our worries. We invite your will." Her voice carried the fervent energy, each word a brushstroke in the canvas of faith they were creating together. The prayers poured out, each one igniting the atmosphere further. "If we claim healing, let it be done," echoed one voice, while another shouted, "Open the floodgates of blessings, Lord." Each borrowed line was pure power, a manifestation of the truth they sang into existence. Suddenly, Emily felt her heart surge. A vision unfolded before her, an image of the village, flourishing and vibrant, with laughter echoing through homes, children playing, the elderly embraced with love. It filled her so deeply, she was nearly breathless. "This is just the beginning," she whispered to no one in particular, knowing that the collective courage could birth a reality yet unseen. In that moment, the light above rippled and pulsated more fiercely, urging them to step fully into this acknowledgement of power. But just as electric energy surged, it drew back, a reminder that faith must be pursued, not taken for granted. What if we put our belief into action? What steps must we take beyond this moment to see this vision realized? Her mind raced alongside her heartbeat. As laughter mixed with prayers and anticipation soared, they gained confidence. "Yes, we will take bold steps," echoed a voice from within the gathering. The challenge hung in the air. What would their next steps look like? How could miracles manifest in their daily lives? The light shimmered one last time, bathing the villagers in a sacred glow as if holding back the answers, revealing only what they dared to dream. What awaited them when they stepped out of this sacred circle? Would they find what their hearts truly desired? In the stillness that followed, a gentle whisper seemed to float through the air. "You are on the verge of something magnificent. Will you step forth?" The air around them vibrated with an intensity that felt almost palpable. Waves of excitement and anticipation rolled through the group, each heartbeat echoing with the call of possibility. Emily looked at the faces of her friends, illuminated by the soft light that surrounded them. Every expression mirrored her own: hope, eagerness, and an unshakable sense of community. Let us not be passive in our dreams, David urged, his voice steady and passionate. We have the power to bring our visions to life, but we must act as one. There was something magical about the way he spoke, a depth that resonated within each heart. It was as if his words were a key unlocking hidden doors of potential that lay within them all. Together we will create the path, Sarah added, her enthusiasm contagious. She stepped forward, the light sparkling in her eyes. Let's commit to share our gifts, to lift each other up, and to believe in the greatness that is within us. A murmuring agreement swept through the crowd, a harmonious blend of voices ready to embrace their journey. Emily's heart danced with joy. What if we start by sharing our struggles? She suggested hesitantly, but the courage inside her grew. Each of us has battles we face. If we bring them to the light, we can begin to heal, together. The weight of her words hung in the air, and one by one, villagers began to step forward. Mr. Reynolds raised his hand again. I've spent too long bound up in fear and isolation, he confessed. Today, I let go of my burdens. I choose to embrace hope. His words were met with a chorus of support, echoes of agreement lifting the atmosphere even higher. Another voice rang out, a woman from the back. I've worried for my health, feeling it slipping away, but I will not allow fear to define me anymore. Her courage ignited another spark of sharing, with individuals voicing their deepest concerns, remorse, and longings. As they spoke, the light pulsed in synchronicity with their revelations, as if the very universe was bearing witness to their vulnerability. The glow intensified, wrapping around them in a cocoon of warmth. Emily felt connected to something far greater than herself. Together we heal, she cried, her voice lifting over the joyous chaos. Let's pray over each other. Let's declare healing and abundance. Immediately, the energy shifted again. Each person began to form small circles of prayer. Hands clasped tightly, tears flowed freely, yet laughter mingled joyfully with their supplications. They were a tapestry woven together by intimate threads of faith. Believe, dear ones, an elder woman murmured as she closed her eyes. Believe in your worthiness to receive boundless grace. Emily felt that ancient truth wash over them all, a reminder that they were worthy, just as they were. As they prayed, visions began to emerge. Glimpses of transformation, encouragement, and growth danced in their imaginations. Walls that had once seemed insurmountable now felt like mere shadows waiting to be dispelled by the light of their unified belief. Suddenly, a loud clap of thunder shattered the peaceful air, jolting them from their daze. The sky outside darkened, swirling with storm clouds. Gasps rose among the villagers, but Emily felt a thrill of exhilaration. Look, out here. It's another sign. We must welcome his power. And right as she spoke, a brilliant bolt of lightning lit up the sky, dancing like a reminder of divine intervention. The crack echoed, resonating with their gathering, a clear message that they were not alone on this journey. Will you take your visions to heart and step boldly into the unknown? David shouted, his call vibrant with urgency. The storm outside raged, but within, their faith surged like an unstoppable tide. They would not back down. As the last prayer lifted to the heavens, the rumble of the storm faded. The air shifted, pregnant with possibility. Miracles awaited, but deep in Emily's thoughts lingered the question. What if what they sought was only the beginning of so much more? The villagers stood together, feeling that unmistakable spark of power growing within, ready to face whatever lay ahead. What awaited them beyond the storm? Would they uncover the greater mysteries hidden in their hearts? As the storm drifted into the distance, a hush fell over the gathered villagers. The air felt lighter, charged with a sense of expectancy, as if the heavens themselves had paused to listen to their heart's desires. Emily could feel a soft pulse within her, urging her to look deeper, to seek the profound meaning veiled within the echoes of their gathering. "Do you feel it?" she asked, her voice almost a whisper, but strong with conviction. The others nodded, eyes wide with wonder, glancing between each other, sharing a silent understanding. Something beautiful was unfolding among them. David stepped forward, the flicker of the remaining candlelight illuminating his face. "This is our moment," he declared, his tone imbued with deep faith. "The storm has tested our resolve. It was no coincidence. Each clap of thunder mirrored our fears. But now we've spoken our truths, we've expressed our burdens. We are now ready to receive gifts beyond measure." The energy in the air began to shift again, wrapping around each heart and igniting a flame of hope. It felt akin to the warmth of sunlight breaking through heavy clouds after a long, dreary night. Each villager breathed it in, feeling the richness of possibility weaving through their spirits. "Let's call upon divine energy," Sarah proposed, her smile brightening the atmosphere like a beacon. "We've shared our struggles. Now let's speak our intentions for healing and abundance." A chorus of murmurs grew, resonating through the crowd as they echoed phrases of possibility. "I am strong. I am abundant. I am healed." Each declaration layered upon the last, building a beautiful harmony of aspiration. With every word, Emily felt stronger, more steadfast in her belief that miracles could manifest from the depths of their unity. But then, an unsettling breeze swept through, chilling the warmth that had just enveloped them. The faintest flicker of doubt crept into Emily's heart. "What if it's not enough?" a tiny voice inside whispered. But she shook her head, pushing the thought away. "Remember what we learned today," she encouraged, voice firm yet gentle. "We are worthy of the blessings we seek. Let them flow through us and manifest in our lives." Suddenly, luminous orbs of light began to emerge, swirling around them as they formed a vibrant sphere of color. Each orb pulsed with energy, gold for abundance, green for healing, and blue for peace. They danced and bobbed like playful children, weaving through their prayer circles until they merged into a radiant glow that pierced the very fabric of the night. "Look!" someone shouted, pointing at the convergence of light. As if responding to their collective faith, the orbs burst into a dazzling display of stars, sparkling and falling like celestial confetti. Gasps of awe mingled with laughter and tears of joy as the villagers watched in disbelief, each glimmer a promise fulfilled. The vibrant light flooded the glade, casting long shadows and illuminating even the darkest corners of their hearts. "We are not in this alone," Emily shouted above the joyous din, feeling the connection stretch wide among them. But just as the light reached its crescendo, a deeper rumble echoed in the distance, a sound that wasn't thunder this time. It resonated like a call, a deeper sign, a divine invitation. "What is it?" someone gasped, eyes darting toward the horizon where black skies loomed ominously once again. "Could it be a test, or a new beginning?" David pondered aloud, uncertainty creeping into the atmosphere. "What if this is merely the prelude?" Emily suggested, holding her breath as they stared into that deepening darkness. The dancing lights wavered, revealing shadows more pronounced against the vibrancy. Would they muster the courage to explore the depths of what lay ahead? As the villagers braced themselves against the stirring winds, a murmur rippled through them. What would they discover if they stepped into that dark unknown? Would they find treasures in the heart of the storm, or would they uncover fears left unspoken? And so, they stood at the brink of an unfolding mystery, ready to embrace whatever awaited them in the deep night. The wind picked up, swirling leaves around the villagers' feet, whispering secrets of hope and uncertainty. Emily felt her heart speed up. The glowing lights above them faded slightly, like stars dimming before a storm. Yet amidst the unease, she sensed a call, a light still flickering in the distance, beckoning them forward. "Let us stand firm," David urged, his voice steady like a lighthouse against the rough seas. "This is not the end. Just as the storm has passed, so too shall any darkness we face now." His conviction rippled through the crowd, stirring courage within their hearts. Emily exchanged glances with Sarah, who nodded, determination reflecting in her gaze. Together they began to step deeper into the glade, a sacred space lit with expectation and anticipatory fear. Each step felt like a prayer, an act of faith into the unknown. What did the darkness hold for them? "I have always believed that light thrives in darkness," Sarah whispered, nearly to herself. "In our vulnerability, we forge strength." The villagers followed, drawing closer together, hands clasping. As they moved, the light from their luminous orbs flickered in rhythm with their unified energy, pulsing like a heartbeat anchoring them in a collective spirit of resilience. Then came a voice, clear and small within the shadows. "Help us!" It felt like the sound of a distant bell tolling, captivating and urgent. "What was that?" someone said, eyes scanning the dark surrounding them. "It felt real," Emily replied, straining to hear. Was it a call for aid, or merely a figment of their imagination? "I believe it is both," David declared, tilting his head as if listening with his very soul. "There's a presence here. Feel it?" Indeed, the atmosphere thickened, as if they stood on the threshold of something sacred and profound. Before them, a vision materialized, a flickering shape within the shadows, growing closer, revealing a figure that seemed draped in twilight itself. "Come!" the figure beckoned, voice echoing like a soft breeze through a tree. They didn't know whether to step forward or retreat, but one thing was clear. This was no ordinary moment. Emily stepped closer, a surge of warmth washing over her. "What do you desire?" she asked, her voice trembling with a mixture of trepidation and excitement. Every villager felt the call echoing in their spirits, urging them to confront the very shadows that lingered in their hearts. The figure's glow brightened, illuminating a pathway lying ahead. Seek within. The answers you seek lie not just in the world outside you, but within. You are the architects of your own reality, blessed with the power to manifest that which you long for. A sense of purpose surged like waves crashing against the shore, invigorating their collective spirit. Each villager felt a personal fire ignite within them, awakening dreams they thought buried. The air vibrated with unspoken intentions, mingling desires for healing, hope, and abundance. "Let us call upon this power together," Emily cried out, voice soaring with newfound confidence. The villagers echoed her sentiment, voices merging into one mighty declaration. "We are courageous. We are healers. We are light." The figure smiled, a light so bright it calmed the dark. "Remember," it whispered softly, "what you seek is already within you. Nurture your hearts and surround yourselves with love." Just then, a brilliant flash of light erupted, and the sky above them sparkled with colors, weaving into a tapestry of hope. Yet still, the distant rumble loomed, reminding them of the unfolding mystery ahead. As the vision began to wane, Emily felt a rush of energy coursing through her. Not merely excitement, but a profound sense of connection to something infinitely larger. This was just the beginning. The shadows still stirred, and there was still so much to uncover. What awaited them beyond this threshold? Would they harness the lessons of love and light to face the darkness beyond? With hearts full of courage, they stood together, united in a moment of divine potential, ready for whatever awaited them beyond the horizon. What treasures would await them in the heart of the storm? As the villagers stood united at the edge of the unknown, a sense of resolve spread like wildfire through their souls. Emily felt the weight of their collective faith pressing against her. "Together we will face whatever is coming," she said, her voice steady and bold. David nodded, his expression fiery with determination. The luminous figures flickered in the shadows, swirling around their hearts, repelling the fears that once held them captive. "Let's step forward into the light," Sarah declared, her arms extending as if inviting the heavens to join them in this moment. The light pulsed, growing brighter as they moved closer together, inching into the depths of divine mystery. With bated breaths, they pushed onward. The sky, still tumultuous, darkened momentarily as if gauging their resolve. Yet with every step, more radiance erupted from within them, illuminating the space around them. Shadows quivered as hope surged forward like a tidal wave. "We can do this," someone shouted, emboldening the group. "It's time we confront our fears," Emily echoed, empowered by that communal strength. Her heart raced as their footsteps melded into the rhythm of their intentional surrender. One by one, their voices rose in a beautiful symphony, igniting a fire that outshone the threatening darkness. They howled their affirmations. "We are healed. We are abundant. We are light." Then suddenly a brilliant flash erupted from the sky, cascading vibrant colors over them. It showered blessings like warm rain, washing away layers of doubt and despair. "Look," Sarah shouted, eyes wide with joyful disbelief. What they saw was a magnificent rainbow arching across the heavens, becoming a living testament to their faith. It puffed against the shadow of uncertainty that loomed, declaring that hope thrived in the midst of struggle. The villagers marveled, ever more emboldened to face the depth of their journeys ahead. And it was in that wondrous moment that a low rumble echoed, a reminder of the power of every trial they had faced. "Let us honor the storms we've braved," Emily said, her voice clear and resolute. "For they have prepared us for the miracles waiting at the end." "As we embrace our purpose, let's turn our hearts towards the needs of our community," David urged. Every flicker of the rainbow above seemed to respond to their burgeoning desires, whispering promises to their spirits. They felt compelled to share their journeys not just among themselves, but also with those around them who required hope. With hearts aflame, they turned toward the village, each face glowing with newfound purpose. "Let's share the manifestation of healing," Sarah proposed, her spirit soaring. "Let every soul know that light exists even after the darkest storms." The group ignited with excitement, feeling the rush of divine energy surge through their veins. They would turn their struggles into testimonies, their trials into triumphs. "Imagine," Emily said, "the light we can bring to those still lost in doubt." As they headed back to the village, the whispers of their hopes mingled with the rustle of leaves, forming a soft melody that wrapped around them, resonating with their heart's joy. Together, they would light the path not just for themselves, but also for every soul yearning for healing. And they knew this wasn't just a moment. It was the awakening of something extraordinary. Every doubt transformed into a melody of praise, every fear into the marching cadence of faith. They were not simply facing a storm. They were taking the precious gifts of love and light out into the world around them. "At the heart of it, we're more than conquerors," Emily exclaimed, her eyes shimmering. "We are bearers of divine gifts." Each voice rose in chorus, affirming their truths. They rejoiced in their wholeness, the harmonious energy pulsating through them, mingling with the very fabric of the universe. The townsfolk watched in awe, drawn to the celebratory light emanating off the villagers. That night, as stories were shared and laughter spilled, the village transformed. Walls once shadowed by fear began to glimmer with hope, hearts filled with joy as transformation flowed like living water over them all. And beckoning above were the stars, glistening with the potential of countless miracles yet to unfold. The angels smiled upon them, bearing witness to their journey of faith, a profound reminder that within the darkness lay the shades of beauty waiting to be revealed. The cycle of hope spun onwards, ever propelling them forward, for their adventure had just begun. This was their calling, to embody the light, to sow seeds of abundance, and to shine brightly for others to see. Their hearts warmed in unison. They spoke as one. "We are the manifestation of divine promise." Finally united, they stepped into the night, hearts ready to embrace all that lay ahead. Now, dear friends, this is your moment. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment below your reactions and testimonies about this incredible ending. And don't wait even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. True servants of God understand the vital importance of supporting our community in faith.